Hey, hello. Last time we left from the video with the Tic Tac Toe game, and the AI was able to put a mark, but also it was not able to put a mark on a void spot, because in this moment the AI does know the rules of the game. So if you remember, the idea was to put all this code inside a function and call this function until the AI give me a void spot as a cell ID where there is nothing. So let's do it. Okay, function, I want to call it guess move, and I want that this guess move accept as input the current board state, and also I want that return me the cell ID. Perfect. Okay, now that I have this move, that if you remember, the idea of this function was to guess a move, take the expected result following the rules of the game, and explain to the AI the correct move that it should output following the rules of the game, and also return the cell ID. One thing that I really want to do here is to increase a bit this 0.05, because I am sure, so basically here I have the explanation of the rules, and the rules of the game are never not correct. So I would like to increase this one to something like 10 or so 0.1 or 0.15. And yes, for now let me put 15. I think that it's correct, because the games of the rules never change, and in this case the learning will be faster. Okay, now that I have this function, I can go here and just create an infinite loop in this way. Guess move, calling my guess move, current board state. Here I can do this bar cell ID. Also you can see that I have changed the spot ID to cell ID, because I think that it's much better now. Spot ID, I don't really like it. And also I can put the cell ID in the board. I can put the tick on the board, but before doing it I want to know if the level allow me to put the mark there. So is cell void is a function that I have created that tell me if that cell is void. If it's not void, it returns false and doesn't do nothing. Also, when the cell is void, I want to break my loop. One thing that I want to do is to move this here, because probably I will need this cell ID, and also I want to know how much times this function is executed. So I want to put plus equal 1 here and print here this variable execution number or count, it's fine. Okay, not here but here. Perfect. I don't need this anymore because I already know that it works. Okay, in theory it's now I should be able to play with my AI it's 1, and you can see how much execution cycle the AI require to give me the correct spot. More execution it perform, less is the understanding of the game rules. Of course, you will need really a lot of training before that the AI will understand how the game's rules, what are the game's rules. But you can see that that the AI is starting to understand how the game works. In fact, you can see that now it takes less executions. Last try. So now 8, 1. Okay, perfect. So it is learning the game's rules. But now it is putting randomly his mark. It is not so smart. So the idea to make the AI smart, at least my idea, and I am trying to make everything simple. So I am not implementing any really complicated. My idea is just that each time the AI lose, it will take all the moves that the opponent, that in this case is the player, does, and will understand why the player does that move. So each time I win, for example, I am going to win this game. In this case, the AI will iterate all over my move that I did in that game, and will understand why I did that move. And in the next iteration, it will use this knowledge. But I can let me write the code so you will understand better what I'm doing here. So the first thing that I want to do is to store all the moves that the player does, and I can do it because I have added another signal that is called player one move. I want to put this here in this GD script, and I want to put exactly here. Okay, now I know. So this signal is called each time the player performs something. One thing that I want to do is to copy this code, because I need to store the current board state and also the number and also the cell ID that the player tick put a mark. So cell ID, let me rename this one because it's better. Here I am taking the current board state, and now I want that in my current board state, in the cell ID, I have to put a 0, because this level player move signal is called just after just after the player move. So the current board state is on the next iteration, but I need to know the current board state before the player puts a tick there. Okay, so the current board state is here. What I want to do is to create two global variable that I can call board states. Yes, okay. And also I want to call I want to create another variable called player moves. So in the bird state, I will store, so push back this current bird state and in my player moves, so player moves, I will store the cell ID. Okay. Oh, what I'm doing. This is really important. Okay, now that I'm storing these two things, I need to do. Okay, now I'm storing the bird state and moves. Let me put this here to be a bit more ordinate. Okay, and now I want to go again in the level signal, and once the game is finished, so once the game is finished, always in the brain area, okay, here. So once the game is finished, I want to check who is the winner. For doing this is, let me check, is player 1 won? Yes. If the player 1 won, or I can do better. So if the player 1 doesn't won, return. So I like it more. So if the player 1 won, instead, what I want to do is to iterate for E in range board states dot size. Why I'm using range is because I need to read two array, board state and player moves. If instead of range I use this one, I am not able to know the ID, and also and for this reason I am not able to read player moves. So I'm using range for this reason. Now, what I have to do is now to learn the input board states. So the inputs are this one, and the expected is my current board state that I will not call, that I will call not board state but move, and in move equal move in so move. Okay, let me explain what I'm doing here. So move is my board, in the board all the cells are 0. Let me think about it. Okay, so the idea is that my move is the output that the player performed. So in this case I want that my player moves in I is equal to 1. Let me check if the ticks of player is 1 or -1. Where these are. So the player is tick, and when we have tick, we have -1. So what I have to do is to put a -1 here. So the idea is that, oh, but not, because I have to put, no, sorry, I have to put a 1 because it's not the, okay, sorry, let me explain what I'm doing here. And sorry if I'm rambling, but it's the first time that I'm doing it, and I'm thinking with you what is the correct solution. So the move, I will call it expected move, so it's more clear now. And the expected move, so this is the board states. Following this board state, I am expected this move. That is the move that the player does in this game that won. And I am learning with 0.05. It is 5% learning rate. Also one thing that I want to do here is to reset all the expected, sorry, not the expected, but I need to reset this one once the game is finished. Otherwise it will, otherwise the learning phase will be broken. And also I need to put this here. So ideally now my artificial intelligence should be able to understand how to play. So let's try to play some games and see what's happening here. Oh, AI won. Luck it. Okay. What I want to do now is to train my AI, but also I don't want that you see what I'm doing, because probably it will take too much longer. And so here I will make a cut. While I was training the AI, basically I thought that it's really long process doing it. And also the best thing to do is to make the AI that train itself. So one thing to correct, and also I've noticed one thing to correct, because on the level player move, so when the player moves, I want to store the current board state but in reverse. So because when the AI will learn that move, I want that the AI learn the move as it should do. So I want that when the player put a tick, it store not with -1 but with 1, and the AI should store with -1. So the AI will learn as the AI will do the reverse of what the player does. Okay, so what I did to make the AI play itself was to remove this one that I am now going to insert again. So initially it was like this, return. So if it was not AI to return. Instead, what I want to do here is that var equal auto train equal false. So if auto train is equal false, so if auto train is true, sorry. Okay, if the no, let me write this way, it's more easy. So if auto train is false, then check if it's AI turn, otherwise go ahead. And so another thing that I want to do here is that since the AI, so if it's AI turn, the boarding should be updated following these indices, following -1 for player and 1 for AI. Otherwise, I want that my AI consider the player 1 and the AI -1, because here I am playing, so the AI is playing the role of the player 1. Instead, here the AI is playing the role of the AI. Okay, this is the same concept. This is the same concept that I have here, because the AI is playing the role of the player 1, so it should have player with 1 and AI with -1. I don't know. I hope that it's clear enough for you. But the AI, yeah, I hope. In case, just write a comment and I will explain more in details what is happening here. So ideally now the AI should work. So the AI now should play by its own everything. Oh, sorry. Where is my export? Export good. Yes, but I have to put a tick here. So now the AI is playing itself, and also it's learning. Draw 1 again. One thing that I can do now is that when the AI, so instead to wait for me to put a tick, so function, not function, but I have a really good signal here that is called game started. Yes, exactly. So when the game starts, I want that the AI executes something. So I want this one level, but I want this one only if auto train is true. So only if auto train is true, I want that the game starts. So now the AI is playing by itself, and also it is learning. One thing that I can do now is that since my AI learn, but doesn't, I need to store the knowledge that my AI take. For doing so, I want to add a button in my HUD, a really simple button, and I want this button top left here. let me put this here. Okay, now this button with text store knowledge. Okay, now that I have this button store knowledge, store, I can go to the onPressed signal, always in my brain, in the brain area, and I want that once this on button store pressed is pressed, I want to store sorry, let me check the documentation of the brain area, because I have save knowledge. Okay, so I want to call the save knowledge. The save knowledge is a function that I have implemented that basically take all the knowledge that AI generated in some way and store in a file. The next time you will use this AI, you will not need to train again the AI, but you can load this knowledge. What I want to do here is to add a copy path knowledge, and I can put Tic Tac Toe knowledge. Okay, so all the knowledge will be stored in this function. In this file. If I open my directory, nothing here. If I start the game and I press knowledge, now it's created this really cool file that have the knowledge. But what I have to do is that the knowledge must be not only stored but also loaded, and this should be done at read in the ready function. What I want to do here is to load knowledge. So now I should check if the file exists, and if not, I could skip the prepare to learn, but it's fine. So now the load knowledge will load the knowledge that is stored inside this file at startup. So now the file is started. In theory, everything should be here. One thing that I could do, instead to save the knowledge in this way with the button, I could do another thing that is way better. In this way, yes, I can do this one, because this means that each time the level finish, it stores the knowledge automatically, so I don't need to press the button anymore. For example, what if I delete this one? Exactly, now it's again created, and also it play automatically. One thing that I could do to speed up this process is to go in the level somewhere. I should okay, exactly here. I remember that I put this game finishing duration here. So now the game really trained really fast. And what I could do is to take a break, and now the AI is learning. From the last cut, passed 2 days, And I didn't record nothing between that cut and now, because I did a lot of tests. The problems was that when we left, the AI was learning, okay, but after 1 hour of learning, the AI was not able to beat me in any way. And also the AI was not able to make a draw, so was really stupid. And I did a lot of changes. Until this AI is learning, I want to show all the changes that I did in the code. And in the meanwhile, I can leave the AI learning, because this learning session just started 15 minutes ago, because I have just recreated the AI, the brain structure. But one thing at a time. So the first thing that I want to make you notice is that the AI right now is learning in a brute force way. This means that when we left, the AI was making a move simulating during the player turn. But so the AI was learning by itself. But I saw that, and also I think that this is not so good, because well, the result was not so good. So I thought another way to train the AI by randomizing the moves. So currently I have another node that is player 1 random, that basically just fire a random move when there is the player turn. Now what I did also was this one. When the game advanced in the brain area node, I am not only taking the next move that AI should do, but also I am telling the AI to counterattack the move of the opponent. So what I'm doing here, if you see, is that taking the current board state and then on this current board state guessing a move. Then I'm checking if for this move, if I make this move, I'm going to win. If my AI going to win, I put a mark and I am learning, my AI is learning this move using this function put mark and learn that I want to show. This function basically what does is to take is just to put the mark as AI, of course, and then take the expected move as I did before and put and learn this move with an eye ratio, an eye learning ratio. Now return back in the game advanced signal. So what is if this function fail? This means if my next move, if the guessed move does make the AI win, it will try to find it will try to counterattack the opponent. So it will take the current board state like if was the opponent, so inverting the IDs, and guessing a move on that opponent current board state. And then I do the same thing. If the current board state, the opponent current board state, if the guessed move for the opponent make the opponent win, I put a mark on that spot in order to counterattack the move of the opponent. Instead, if this fail, this means if the next guessed move for the opponent doesn't make the opponent win, I can just put the cell ID that I have guessed before, because nothing special happened. This means that basically no one is going to win, and I don't need, I can just put a sign everywhere, more or less. And that's it. So the AI now is able to counterattack and learn this counter attack and also attack and learn the attack. But another thing that I did is to learn, as I did before, is to learn the opponent move. But the thing that I changed here in the game finished is that not only learn all the opponent moves, but also try to understand if the opponent moves are good or not. Why I did this? I did this because initially I thought that the AI should learn from the opponent, saying that the opponent is a smarter person. So my idea was that if the AI is learning from a human, the human can explain how to play the game, and also the AI can understand from a human that is smarter than it. But with the brute force learning, it's not so true, because the brute force is stupid algorithm that just put randomly the moves. So I have to estimate how the moves, if the game was played smart or not by the opponent. For doing this, what I do is really simple. I am taking the sides of the states. That means how much times the opponent, how much moves the opponent does to beat the AI. So if the opponent make less than 7 moves, it give me 1. So this means that it is a good game. If the board state, if the opponent make more equal or more than 7, the good game will be 0. So if the good game is 1, the game played by the opponent is good. This means that he did less move and beat the AI. Instead, if the move are more than 7, the game was not so good. Now what I did is to change the learning rate following the good game parameter. And the algorithm, the function that I created, is basically this one. That is a function that give me is a function that increase the learning rate upon this good game parameter. But I want to show you what this function means in details. If I write here 0.05, that is the minimum parameter that the AI will use. So this means this parameter forced the AI to learn even if the game was really bad, but it learned with a really tiny value. Now plus 0.12 times x time powered 6, if I don't go wrong, from 5. I changed it in the meanwhile. So what this does is that in the x-axis we can see that if the x is near something, is from 0 to 0.5, the learning ratio is really low. It's 0.005, that it's really low. It's still learning, but really low, because the game was not so good, and also doesn't make sense learn so much from that game. But the music change when the good game parameters, so the my x in this case, is from 0.5 and 1. If the game is between 0.5 and 1, the learning curve increase in this way, and also it increase something near it increase until 0.12. That is a really good learning rate. So when the game, for example, if the opponent win with 4 moves, it learn something like it learn with a learning rate of 0.07. That is really good. Okay, and I think that's it. This is more or less what I did. Sorry, the most important thing that I noticed that I wrong was the structure of the brain. Because all this that I have just showed to you, okay, works, but doesn't make the AI smart enough to beat me. The thing that really make the AI smarter wasn't all that thing that I showed you, because initially I have implemented all this stuff, but nothing make the AI win upon me. So what I did is to change the structure of the brain. This means that the brain was really tiny, was not so big to beat me, or at least draw. And what I did was that I left the input layer size to 9, the hidden layers count to 2, so this means that the middle layer remained 2, and the output layer size to 9. But the hidden layer 0 size from 18 became 200, and the hidden layer 2 from 18 became 100. So as you can see, the brain now is really huge, and the AI has a lot more possibility to learn and give me a really good move. But now let's stop this talk, and I want just to show you the AI in if it works or not, and I hope that it works because you never know. Okay, my move. Let's see what happened. As you can see, I have put an X here and then another here, and the AI countered attack my move, because it understood that my next move I will win. So he put a mark right here, stopping my attack. What's happened if I'm putting an X here? Perfect. It put the mark here, stopping my attack. But I was smarter than him and I won anyway. Okay, let's see. Let's try this AI to see what's happened. As you can see, now it doesn't put the mark randomly, because now he can win. He basically beaten me. If I put a mark here, ideally he should put the mark here to win. And if I put a mark here, the AI in theory should put the mark here for win. So in theory he did a move smarter than mine. Let's see. Perfect. It won. Okay. Draw. Wow, won. Okay. Oh, I'm really stupid. Okay. As you can see now, the AI is playing, and it's not so easy to beat. And also, it is really able to beat me. As you can see, they try to trick me, and I think that I trained this AI, this new structure, for half an hour, so not really too much. The first AI that I did after the increasing of the size was, if I don't go wrong, the first hidden layer with 14 neurons, and the second hidden layers with 20 neurons. and the story became a bit better. So the AI started to learn and do a bit smarter move. Then I increased to 80 the first hidden layer, and the second to 60. And but I saw that the AI was smart, was able to beat me, but sometimes they did really bad moves. So I have increased again the brain size, and yeah, that's it. Basically now the AI works, and I am really happy about it, because I didn't use it any specific algorithm like the algorithm, let me think about the name, Monte Carlo 3 search. That is an algorithm specific for this kind of game. It was used in the AlphaGo, that is an AI that is really famous, because was the first AI able to beat 2 times the world championship in that game. And yeah, so without using that specific algorithm or any other algorithm, I was able to create an AI that is able to win, and also really enjoyable to play against. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.